Okay. So hi once again. For aviation, aircraft communication and navigation system. Wait. So our topic for this time is about LORAN. Or in longer term, long range navigation system. So our learning objectives for today is to be able to understand the principle of operations of long range navigation and determine the coverage, the limitation, and the accuracy. Our course content is about LORAN C from the history, overview, their theory, and their principles of operation. Yan. So, nagkaroon tayo ng overview, as in quick lang naman, last time. But LORAN is an acronym for Long Range Navigation, developed in Second World War with the intention of providing aircraft with a hyperbolic navigation system that did not suffer from skywave contamination. So, the skywave propagation is usually degraded, sometimes seriously during geomagnetic storms. So, skywave propagation on the sunlit side or sunlight side of the Earth can be entirely disrupted during a sudden ionospheric disturbance. So here are the history of LORAN. So in 1942, the British had an operating hyperbolic system named to named G to aid in long-range bomber navigation. So the system is operated on frequencies between 30 megahertz and 80 megahertz and employed master and slave transmitters spaced approximately 100 miles apart. So late 1940s and early 1950s, experiments in low frequency, low run produce a longer range, more accurate system using the 90 to 110 kilohertz bands. So in late 1950s, from the late 1950s, LORAN A and LORAN C systems were operated in parallel. So as I have said before, LORAN A is used for navies and the LORAN C is used more on aviation. So in mid 1970s, spacing out of LORAN A, the United States continued to operate LORAN C in a number of areas around the world. In 1990, closing of LORAN C station in the US. So this was a result of the US Department of Defense adopting the Global Positioning System as its primary radio navigation. So as you can see naman, the GPS still used nowadays because of more advance in navigating services. So here in the LORAN overview, the first modern practical area in navigation system for use in general aviation, developed for maritime navigation. Early LORAN A's were exclusively for marine use. Still in use today, although its use beyond 6 to 8 years from now is uncertain. So certain LORAN C receivers are approved for IFR or instrument flight rules and route and terminal navigation, but not for approaches because there are certain equipment nowadays for approaching or landing from the airport. So most LORAN C receivers use for VFR navigation. For all practical purposes, LORAN C provides same type of navigation data to the pilot. So additional to it, what are the three types of navigation in aviation? So air navigation is defined as the process of determining the geographic position and maintaining uh, the desired direction of an aircraft relative to the surface of the Earth. So there are three types of navigation, which are the dead reckoning navigation, visual navigation, and electronic navigation. Hmm. So in LORAN C, okay, LORAN C operates in the low frequency electromagnetic energy radio bandwidth, which follows the curvature of the Earth, therefore making it suitable for a longer range. So as we've discussed, okay, low frequency or very low frequency are used always for the uh, long range navigation, or the electromagnetic wave propagates longer than other frequencies. In here, okay, LOP means of end of position. Yan. So again, a little bit of overview in LORAN. So here is the master ground station or master, and there are two slave receivers. So once nagpropagate ng signal si master ground station, si slave naman magpo-propagate din siya ng wave, which is yung nakikita nyo ngayon. Then ganun din yung isang slave ni LORAN, lagyan natin ibang color. Ayan. So once na nag-meet yung wave nila, nagkakaroon ng position fix. Okay, nade-determine yung location ni aircraft. So in LORAN theory, the LORAN C concept is based on group or chain of stations around the world. So worldwide, there are 28 chains. Each chain consists of one master station and 4 to 6 secondary stations in a geographic area. So, nakita na natin kanina, okay? Example, nandyan si master and merong 4 to 6 more na slave stations to provide an accuracy in determining the position of the aircraft. So the master station of each chain broadcasts a continuous string of low frequency pulses measured in microseconds. So the unique time between the start and the stop of each pulse identified the particular chain. So this time is known as the group repetition interval or GRI For instance, the time between the start and the stop of each pulse in the northeast US chain is 99,600 microseconds, or 9960 for short. So 9960 is identified as the Great Lakes chain. So the GRI is entered into the LORAN C unit in the aircraft upon startup, along with the approximate latitude and longitude position during the initialization process. So this helps the unit find its position more quickly. So the LORAN C unit then searches for the master station and the two strongest secondary signal. So the master station pulse triggers a response from the secondary station. So the receiver corrects for any time lag in pulse reply. So the receiver then calculates the time it takes the signals to reach the aircraft and essentially generates hyperbolic line of positions, or LOP, from each station, known as a hyperbolic line. A position, since the lines like look a parabola. So two intersecting hyperbolas produce two possible points for the aircraft position. So kung i-determine natin, no, sinasabi nilang two intersecting hyperbolas. So again, there is a master station. Here's the slave station. So si master nag-produce ng hyperbolic or hyperbola. And then si slave A magpo-produce ng, or magta-transmit pa siya ng signal. So kung mapapansin nyo, meron ng point here. Nagkakaroon na siya ng isang point. For the example lang yan. And then next, okay, si slave B station, okay, magpuproduce din yan ng signal, and then magkakaroon ng intersecting points. So once nagkaroon ng intersection ng 2 points, magkakaroon na siya ng two possible points for the aircraft position, either here or yan, there. So using a second slave or secondary station, the receiver then pinpoints its position, entering the latitude or longitude during the initialization, also aids in this process. So there are a limitations in LORAN. So the area of coverage limited to chain which don't give a global coverage. So this means hindi lahat, or hindi ang buong mundo pa rin ay mako-coverage ito, dahil more on nasa Amerika or nasa northern US ang gumagamit ng LORAN. So the skywave component of the signal bounces off the ionosphere, causing navigational errors when traveling greater than 1,000 nautical miles from the farthest master or secondary stations, causes errors in position up to 3 miles. So ulitin natin, the skywave component of the signal bounces off the ionosphere. Pwede siyang mag-cause ng navigational error. So 1,000 miles is significant as it range less than this. So the ground wave is significantly greater in strength than the sky wave. So therefore, the receiver is programmed to reject the weaker sky wave. Okay. So at distance of between 1,000 and 1,400 nautical miles, the ground and sky waves are approximately the same strength, making the signal seem to the same to the receiver. So since the sky waves take longer to reach the receiver than the ground waves, this leads to the position errors. As the aircraft moves through precipitations, it generates static electricity, which generate electromagnetic noise around the aircraft, thereby interfering with the LORAN signal, causing the signal strength to noise ratio to go to unacceptable limits. And let's go for uh, principles of operations.